a client reached out recently and they mentioned that there is some problem that they are going through, and if I can help them out with some sort of automation using AI. So I thought, while I did it for them, I thought, why can't I just show it to you as well, because there's something interesting we did. And the issue was that this client is a recruiter and they receive a lot of job applications with resume, CVs and everything that people can send, cover letters and all. So it's not that easy to go through all the profiles that they receive and evaluate them, match that against the job description, and then score them somehow. Because if you're getting, say, a few hundred applications for any given job which is posted on the internet, then it takes hours to go through those and figure out which one are the best. So we thought that why can't we just use AI to do the basic screening, and instead of paying a lot of money to the big SaaS platforms, we built something which is very unique to the use case. So I thought I'll just take you through how exactly we did that. So I would call it a data analysis tool, because what we are doing is that we are going through all the resumes, the CVs that we are getting, and then map that and match that against the job description which was posted, and figure out what's the most relevant things, if we can score those profiles based on how much closely they match the job description. So to do that, what we have to figure out is, first of all, the exact problem statement, which is we have resume in PDF, maybe in doc files, docx files, Google Doc file, anything like that, right? It could be text as well. I don't think people do text a lot nowadays, I don't think so, but a lot of people for ATS, which is your application tracking system, which HRs have been using for almost more than a decade now. So to get through the ATS, people send docx and text resume sometimes. So my first problem was that I have to go through all these files, and somehow, if I can find relevant information, name, job profile, etc. I mean, there will be different columns for every single thing, and what about their strength, and misspelled, and weaknesses. Also, if I can get like a relevance score and LLM's recommendation. So as simple as that, what we have to do is now is we take the information from this resume, different parts, the name, the description, the skills, the contact information and everything, and put them into their respective relevant fields, and then also use AI in the middle of the process to vet through everything, and also give some top line recommendations on what the profile is like and if they are best suited for the role or not. So once we have figured out the problem statement and what we are trying to do here, the second thing that we have to do is to figure out what are the tools that we can use. Tools, when I say tools, I mean it could be your access to a Google Drive, something in between which can set our automation like n8n, an LLM, one AI to go through all these things, figure out what to do, and finally a database as simple as Google Sheets, so we can put all this information that we are fetching into those records. So like I said, the tools that we need, we do have a few tools that we can use, and I already mentioned them. I'll just show it to you so that it's easier for you to understand. So first of all, these resumes that we are using, we can get those resumes directly from Gmail as well, but for sake of simplicity, at least for this particular video, let's say we have uploaded all the resumes in a Google Drive. Now we have an automation which goes through a few steps, the workflow that we will create, which will extract the files, go through the data, analyze it using, say, ChatGPT in this case, and then ChatGPT will give the information back on in terms of what the user profile is like, and if the resume or the profile is relevant to the job description or not. Once everything is done, even if it's not highly relevant, we will still store all the data in a database, right? So once it's done, we pass it on to Google Sheets. So it's as simple as that. It's not a very complicated workflow here, because we have a few steps that we have to figure out, some integrations here and there, and then I think the most complicated task here would be to write a proper prompt which can do what exactly we are trying to do. So setting those proper context, output rules, and telling it what is the information that we need is going to be really critical in this particular workflow. So yeah, let's get on to building that workflow from scratch and see where we land at. Before we get on to building our own workflow, if you have not gone through my previous video, which was about setting up your automation from scratch, it's still very simple automation that we build. I would recommend that you go through that video once more so that you understand what exactly is happening here. How are we making those connections? How are we writing these prompts and things like that? Because I'll not be explaining a lot of things in depth this time around, because we want to keep the video short. So moving on, by now you must have created your own credentials, your own login. So I hope that you can see this screen and also can log in to your own screen, because if you follow whatever I'm doing, you should be able to do exactly what I'm trying to do here. So yeah, I mean, this whole thing is all about practicing a lot, because the more you practice by yourself as well, the more you will figure out what are the things that you are missing out on. You will research more, and that's how we learn. So we start with creating a new workflow. Let's call it resume profiler. So the first thing that we are supposed to do here is always a trigger, that what should trigger this whole workflow. In this case we are using a manual one, but what you can also do is add, say, Gmail as a trigger. So whenever you receive a message from your Gmail account, this event will trigger. So you can fetch those profiles, the resumes, the PDFs directly from the Gmail, the mail that you receive, instead of going through the drive. We'll go through that thing in detail later on in some other video, but for this one we are keeping it simple. Like I said, we'll just stick to Google Drive. Let's assume that we have uploaded everything. I have put together some sample resume CVs in this particular drive called resume database. So we'll be going through these 4 CVs. It could be 100 CVs as well, it doesn't really matter. So let's start with the first trigger, which is manual, and then once it gets triggered, what we need to do is we have to add Google Drive here. And like I said, don't worry about how I connect it. I'll do a video shortly on how to connect the drive, but if you are feeling adventurous, you can go and research a little bit. It's not that difficult. So yeah, from Google Drive, the first thing that we have to do is search for files and folders. Let's call it CV search, or right. So I have connected my own account here, but if you want to add a new credential, all you have to do is just go through these docs. I'll do a walkthrough as well, but if you don't want to wait for that walkthrough, you can just click on this link called open docs and just follow the instructions here. It's not that difficult. You just need to create a Google Cloud Console project within Google Cloud account. So it's already connected here. Close my own account. So what we are searching for is a file or a folder. Operation is search query. We just leave it blank because we want everything from this particular folder, everything here. If it was just PDF, I could have put a PDF, then could have been PDF or docx, but right now we are looking for everything and everything here. Then one thing that we have to do here is we have to put a filter is for the folder, because which folder should we search for, because it's going to search for everything from Google Drive, but we will limit it to this folder, which is resume database. So let's search for resume. What's happening? Yeah, resume database. So once we press on execute step here, let's see what we get. So you see on the right hand side we see 4 items. If this is the schema, but if you click on table, it will show you the all 4 items, the 4 document names: digital marketing manager, resume example, Tanya Solis, Prabjot Singh, John Mehta. And this ID is going to be very critical because we are going to use these IDs to download those resumes and analyze those. All right, one thing that you can do on the side is keep pinning this data. You see there's a small button, you just press it. Why? Because now this data will stay here. Even if I execute the whole thing again, it will just stay here, so it doesn't consume a lot of your API credits. So whenever you are testing something, it's always good to just pin the data. Alright, so now we have 4 items here. This was just the search because we were searching for these IDs, these 4 IDs. To download, we'll need to connect another drive node here, because now we have to call a download file action, which is this one, download file. So we click on download file, and because like I told you that it's will be based on ID, you know, the ID that we fetched from the previous node. What we do is that by ID, and you press this ID and then drag it. As simple as that. We dragged it here. Done. So now we have this ID. You can see that it's showing up, this particular ID in the expression, and execute. I think I missed one thing here, because now we have 4 files, right? And it's going to fetch 1 file here. But if I have to go through all 4 files, I need to add something. And this something is called loop, because if you have more than 1 items that you are going through, the loop node, it goes through every single one of them one at a time. Usually n8n does this processing by itself. It's just my own personal preference that I use this node to loop over items one at a time, because it doesn't it gets very complicated for the AI, the LLMs are using to process so many things at once. So if I have like say 100 files, and if I just run those 100 files at once, it will put a lot of load on the LLM, the agent that I'm using. So it might hallucinate, it might give you wrong output. Like I told you earlier about the context windows, so we have to be careful about how much data we should be feeding the LLM. So let's add this loop over item, batch size 1, which just simply means that it will process 1 file at a time. Once you click on that, it will just create a loop node which is looping within itself. You just delete everything for now. Delete, 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 because it has two outputs. One is loop and one is done. Loop means what goes in the loop process, because loop is a circle, it's a process. So first thing is we need to connect this loop output to the download file node that we just created. Press on the play button here. Okay, so it just fetched one item because it's going to use one item per batch. So we have John Mehta doc.cv. Right now, this doc, are we getting it? Yes. So once we double click on this one download file, you can see that it just looped over one item, which is the ID, and that's exactly what's going on here. We can just try it again, drag the ID, drop it here. John Mehta doc.cv. I just remembered something. We have to figure out the MIME type, because this is a doc file and we have to process doc and the PDF files separately in separate manners. Okay, so we need to process them separately. So now we have to add one more node to filter based on if it's PDF or a doc file. So we have to go back in the search node and make some small changes, because we also want to know if the file is a PDF or a doc or a text. So what we have to do here is that you go back here, you see how it fetched the 4 files from list, resume, database, ID and name. We need to define what kind of data we want here. So for example, ID yes, name yes, and then MIME type. MIME type is will define what kind of file it's fetching, the type of file, the extension of the file. So if we execute it again, let's see, we still got the ID, the name, and now we are also getting the MIME type. Application, which is a doc, Google apps.document, and then application /PDF and PDF and PDF. So we have 3 PDF and 1 Google Doc, right? So what we have to do here now is that we have figured out the 4 items. Now we have to filter them based on if it's split them, sorry, not filter, but split them based on if it's a doc file or a PDF file. So what I'm thinking right now is that before we fix the doc file, because we only have 1 doc file, we can process the 3 PDFs first. So what we can do here is we add one filter, not really a filter, let me just remove this one, a switch here itself. You add a switch node and say MIME type, you drag it here, if value string contains, you just copy this and this, rename output, you call it doc, and then you add another switch, which is if the MIME type, this one again, contains PDF, then you rename it and you call it PDF. Shall we try? Let's do. Okay, amazing. You see that you have 1 doc item, John Mehta doc.cv, and 3 PDF items. You go to the table, doc has 1 item, PDF has 3 items, these 2. So what happens is, once you have done this, if you see, Now you have two outputs coming out. One is doc and one is PDF, right? So there are two ways we can now process this. One is that we loop over items for individual nodes, or we convert doc and then put it into loop. For this particular case, I'm thinking let's start with PDF, fix that one first, and then we will look into the doc file. So instead of the doc, let's connect PDF here, right? So it will go only through the PDF files now instead of doc. Doc will stay there waiting for our instructions, but at least we will be able to process the PDFs. We do it again, loop over items, and now it should be able to, instead of that doc file, the John something, what was the name of the doc file, John Mehta here, we should be able to fetch PDFs now. You look into it. Let's look into this one, loop over items. Why is it still fetching this? PDF doc, huh? Oh, because it's unpinned. Yeah, because it was pinned, that's why. That's why. So let's check again. Yes, I made that mistake. You saw I pinned this data, so it just pinned the initial doc file that it extracted first. So keep that in mind as well. So loop over this one. So okay, now that we have received this example PDF, let's start with download. Now we have to download and analyze, right? So by ID, this one, J3Q. Now what we have to do is, because it's a PDF, let's execute it. Yeah, execute. All right, so it just gave us a binary data. Just keep that in mind, because it is supposed to return a binary data, not JSON or anything else. So we have a downloadable file here which is fetched from Google Drive. The second thing that we have to do is extract text from that PDF. So we go back here, add another node, which is extract from file, and we look at the options. It's extract from PDF. This thing will automatically fetch the data, the binary data from the last field. Extract from PDF, we are selecting correctly. If this was anything but data, right, then you will just change it to whatever it says it here. Till the time it's data here, you will just mention data here as well, because it has to match the type of binary file that we are extracting right now. Any properties? We don't have to. Okay, now let's execute this one as well. Waiting. All right, so now you can see that it extracted everything from this binary file and converted into text. If you click on table here, you'll be able to see the text. The whole resume is here for us to analyze. Okay, we are moving towards the right direction. So now we have the text, and we also have the workflow. We have split it between doc and PDF. What we have to do now is to also fetch the job description, because now we have the resume and we just need a job description so that the AI can match both of them for relevance. So let's do that. What we have to do now is, you can either click on the plus button here or just press tab, and then you look for the job description. Job description I have already uploaded in the Google Drive, so we'll have to add another Google Drive node to pull the job description file. Okay, so Google Drive. This time we are not going to do the search because there are not multiple files in the folder. There's just one single file which says job description, so you can just pick that one single file and download that, right? So there is no need to do that resume search, the search folder function, and then do the download file. So we just go proceed with the download file here. Everything is linked, my credentials and everything. So the second thing that we will do is find our file, the job description. So we call it job sample job description. Yeah, this was the file that I added earlier. If I open it up, yeah, it's just a very it's a sample that I created earlier using ChatGPT. I'm not posting any such jobs right now. So yeah, it did fetch the file. Now execute this step. Right, so we again have this thing. You remember the process that we did. We have the PDF now. We just need to extract the text out of this PDF. Okay. It was supposed to be connected here. Okay, I forgot to connect it. Okay, it's execute. Now what we have to do is the same thing, extract. Remember the PDF version, extract from PDF, data, so it maps. We just need to execute now, extract from PDF. Let's execute. Waiting. All right, so it fetched the job description now. Job description, this is the job description, key responsibilities, this is everything, whatever I am looking for. Let me just pin this data. I don't want to do it again and again. It's just one single file, right? So every single time there is a loop going on within the 4 files. We don't need to loop over this particular data again and again because it's constant. It's the resume which is changing, but job description is will stay the same. All right, it's getting a bit complex but very linear till now. So we pinned it. Okay, so you can see that we have file the data from resume and then data from job description. We can rename these nodes as well. Let's rename it too so that we remember what's happening. PDF resume, rename, extract from file, let's rename it resume data, and then we call it download job description, rename it to extract JD data. Now I'll just scroll past this one. So the next thing that we have to do is bring in the AI agent to perform all the things that we wanted to do, which is mapping, allocating the relevance score, and pushing the data to say Google Sheets. So that's where we move on to next. So now we are going to add the AI agent. So again, we press on the plus button or the tab, we press AI agent. So now our AI agent will do all those things that we wanted to do. The first thing that we have to do is we have to, by default it shows connected chat trigger node because it expects like a chat message like we did in our first video. But in this case we are not giving it fetching data from the chat trigger node. It's coming from the job description and the resume that we pulled earlier, so we have to define it below. So what we say here is, that's as simple as that. This is a user prompt. Here's the candidate information is extracted from their resume. Click on expression so that you can make it larger. Here is the resume. And you remember last time when we dragged and dropped, we will do the exact same thing. But remember, this is a resume we are dropping, and on the left hand side you can see this is extract JD data. So you collapse it, go to extract resume data because we need the data from here. And when you see this text, which was the resume, the text extracted from the PDF of resume, you just bring it here. And now you can see the whole resume is here. This one is done. So now it can fetch resume. The second thing that we have to do here is that we also need to give it a system message because there is a JD, the job description, sitting somewhere. So it has to do the whole matching and also understand what exactly we want this AI agent to do. So we press on the system message here. You are a helpful assistant. So what happens here is that this particular message, the system assistant, needs a lot of details. It needs proper instructions in terms of what exactly is going in and what we want it to give us. So input and output, we have to define it very, very clearly. So it could be as simple as you start with, like, if you remember my video on prompting and how to give proper prompts and stuff. So you always start with context. It could be context, it could be something else you want to, but it has to be clear that what is the objective of the next message that you are putting. All right, and after that you also have to set, say, output rules. Now to make this faster, I have just created the whole prompt because it's a really long prompt, and you can copy paste it later on or type your own. But what I will do is I'll just paste it from one of the text files that I already have. Right, so now I will explain what exactly is going on here. So in the context, I'm telling the AI agent that it's an expert marketing recruiter specializing in digital marketing roles, and you, as in the AI agent, is going to get a resume and a job description. Your task is to analyze, match its relevancy to the job description, and provide a detailed screening report. You will focus on how the candidate's profile match the job requirements, evaluate the resume for technical skills and business context both. Focus on content in the resume and use reasoning instead of making assumptions. Do not make assumptions. Stick to the point and use data that's been provided to you. Right, and what we need in return is a JSON object. JSON because we want specific fields that we can put into Google Sheet, like name, organization, skills, email IDs, strength, weaknesses, and so on. And that's exactly what we are going to define here. I'll come back to the thing tool later on. Now the output rules. Your final output must follow this structure. I'm telling it what exactly I want to see when you return an output, which is number one is candidate name, which is the name of the candidate, and I have defined it here, that name of the candidate. It's JSON format, but as you can see, it's not very technical. You just need to understand what do you want in return, so that it will name the fields or the columns that you will set in Google Sheet like this, and this is what it will do. So candidate name is what it will call it, and inside that field it will just fetch the name of the candidate and give it to us. Similarly, current organization, skills, phone number, email ID, location, strength, weakness based on the resume that the person has provided, a relevance score out of 10, where 0 is terrible match and 10 is perfect match, and do not give anything in decimals, and a justification asking the LLM to tell us why you think it's a 5 out of 10, 10 out of 10, or 7 out of 10. And then finally we will give it the job description as well. If you remember earlier, we pasted the resume data, which was sitting in the extract resume data, this particular node, the text, But for this job description, we have to go extract job description data, and you have your JSON text. You just have to click, drag, drop JSON text. As you can see, the job description is here now. Now the tool that I was talking about, what you can do is you can also give it a tool to think, some additional buffer memory that it can use, so that it can analyze better. So you gave it a think tool. Up to you if you want to change the the tool description, but I think it's okay. Where it says use the tool to think about something, it will not obtain new information or change the database, but just append the thought to the log. Use it when complex reasoning or some cache memory is needed. So you just give it to it. It just improves the efficiency of the AI agent. You need to add a chat model to it as well. You remember how we connected the APIs earlier using the API key. It's in my last video on how exactly you should be doing that. And from the list, especially for demo purposes, I prefer going with 3.5 turbo, even though the response is not as good as 4.1, but it saves me a lot of tokens. So you do that. Now you have a chat model here as well, and you have a think tool that we provided. What else can we do now? Okay, because the output that we need from this particular AI agent is in JSON, a specific format that we wanted to provide us. We just click required specific output format. For higher models, if you are choosing 4.1 and above, you probably don't need it because they know what to do. But I think anything below 4.1, they may not return a JSON field or JSON data or the format in JSON. So as soon as I click on require specific output format, because then it will force the tool to give you the output in JSON, what we have to do is, as you can see, now we have output parser here. In the output parser, we click and say structured output parser, return data in defined JSON format. So you have to define the format here just like we did earlier. Again, I'm going to copy paste the whole output structure. You just have to follow exactly what I'm doing. Actually, you can tweak it if you want. It's not very complicated, like I keep saying. It just needs an example of how it should be. Like this is a format that I'm expecting. Candidate name John Doe, current organization Microsoft, skills. Again, this information is not there in the resume. I'm just giving it an example of how exactly it should be parsing this information. So now we have that as well. So we have a thing, we have a chat model, and we have a structured output parser. Is there anything else that's missing? Maybe not. Let's click on play. Come on. All right, so something happened. Let's see. Okay, so it went through Austin Long. Do we have an Austin Long here? Austin Long could be, yes, this was Austin Long. Let's see what does it say. Austin Long, current organization Howard Hughes Corporation. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. Skills, Salesforce, paid acquisition, A/B testing, okay, blah blah blah. Phone number, email ID, Chicago, Illinois. And then we have strength, expertise in executing email campaign, A/B testing. Weaknesses, lack direct experience with SEO and CRM platforms like HubSpot and Zoho. Limited experience in managing SEO strategy and CRM. Relevance score is 7 out of 10. Justification, Justin Long has significant experience in executing email marketing campaigns, A/B testing and implementing. Okay, so we got the data here. Now we have to put it in a database. So what we have to do here again is click. So let me tell you something. I have already created a Google Sheet which has all the data that we want to put in the sheet, and you can see all the columns are already there. You don't have to worry about what you name these columns. It's just for your own personal information, that what exactly do you want to fetch: name, organization, location, phone number, email ID, location twice. No, we just need one, so delete column. Strength, weaknesses, rating, and reason for rating, which covers pretty much all the things that you were outputting from here. Alright, so as you can see, you can name it whatever you want. You can call it phone number or just phone. It's totally up to you. It's not relevant. It's not very relevant. It's easier to map it when you do the mapping with between AI agent and Google Sheets. So we go back to this and start with connecting Google Sheets. Alright, so what do we do now is, again, we press on the plus button. We look for Google Sheet. Google Sheets. And then we append or update row in a sheet. Append row. Yeah, we can append or update, because if we have any new information on the candidate, we can just update the row instead of appending a new row. So this is what we should be using, append or update. And just like the Google Drive, the way that we linked, it's the same. You just need to create one auth login here, and yeah, you'll be good to go. Or you can watch my video on how to do that exactly. So append or updated row, document from list. So it's called resume database. It's the same file. And the sheet, we are not calling it anything. The sheet 1 is what it's called. So let's see, sheet 1. Now if you remember all the fields that we're talking about, I'll show you how easy it is, because we have already mapped these things. One thing that we have to notice here is, one thing is missing here, is something to match on, a unique ID. So we go back to the sheet, add another column here, and call it ID, because that's how we know that any file, any resume, any profile is unique, and it will use that as the key to map everything. So ID, we have created this, and then we refresh it again here. See, it's already showing the error because it detected some changes in the Google Sheet. So we press, and now it's showing ID as well. So columns to match on is ID. Now where do we get this ID? You have to go way back to resume search. If you remember, we received the ID here, so we drag and drop it here. So we'll update this ID in the Google Sheets. For everything else, you can go back to your AI agent's output. Candidate name goes here, organization, it goes here. See, these names should not match. It doesn't matter if you make them match or not, till the time you're mapping it properly. So matching and mapping are two different things. So organization goes into current organization. Similarly, location, you find where is the location. This is the location, and you drag and drop again, location. Phone number, there we go, phone number. Email ID, there we go. Strength, weaknesses, strength, weakness. Relevance score is rating, is the same thing, and the reason for rating. Awesome. Either I can execute it right now, or I can create the whole loop and do all 3 PDF files together. So because I've mapped everything, I'll just go back, and what we can do is, you click on this plus and drag it, drag, and connect it back to this loop over items. So what's happened now is that now the loop is complete. for every time the 3 items that it has, it will loop over this whole process 3 times. So now what we can do here, as you can see, we just press on execute workflow. Let's wait. It will go one at a time. So first one is in, now it's doing the second one. If I zoom in, you can see it's doing the second update, which is the second file. You should already see it all here. Yeah, you can see it. See, the second one is also in, and now it must be going through the third one. Yeah, it's going through the third one. It should arrive soon. Let's format a little bit. We don't need it that much. 767. Something went wrong with this guy. It couldn't fetch the phone number from this one, and these two, they look similar. Do we have the same phone number for these two, Tanya Solis and Austin Long? Let's just check. Austin Long, what's your phone number? 12345. Oh, it's because it's 123456. So 123456. And this guy, where's your phone number? Contact. Okay. Probably because of the structure of this resume, it was not very ATS friendly. That's why people keep talking about ATS friendly resume. So even the AI was unable to detect 1323. Where is it? There is no 1323. It just got really confused about the phone number. Where did it pull it from? Did it just hallucinate? No idea where it pulled it from. That's a problem. Alright, so these problems can happen when you don't have a very ATS friendly or a readable resume. It could also be because these two I downloaded from like a job portal. This one I found it on the internet, some random PDF file. This CV I created myself, so hopefully it should be in the proper format. But now you can see that we have all 3 of these with their strengths, their weaknesses, their ratings, and why it's recommending that. So that was that. Now we also have to convert the doc file, so that we should be doing next, right? So there are multiple ways to do this, where we have a doc file and then we process it, because we already split between PDF and doc. What we have to do is process it separately, because what we need to do is, because doc files, they are very unstructured, I would say. They are not very properly structured, so that's why it's important that we convert it to PDF, so that the data structure is proper there. It's more readable to LLMs as well. That's what I understand. And the process is not very complicated. I mean, there are multiple ways that you can do it, but I'll tell you the simplest option, because don't make your life complicated. You will add a few steps here and there, but if you create complicated agents, if anything breaks down, if anything that goes wrong, your life will be miserable, because then things will keep falling apart. All right, so we'll use the simplest way to do this. Later on we will get into complex ways to manipulate data and everything, but I'll tell you the simplest way to split PDF and doc and process them separately. So what we will do is that if we go back to this one, you remember that we had 3 items for PDF and 1 for doc. What we can do is just press on this, and because it's a doc file, we still download the file using the ID, which is this one, but we have to make one small change, which is Google file conversion, and we have to add the conversion. Google Docs, and what we want is a PDF. So it will convert everything that's incoming to a PDF. So this is doc, let's convert into PDF. So we have a MIME type application PDF. What do? Like I said, there are two ways. We can merge items and feed them back into the loop over item feed. I'll keep it very simple for you. What you can do is, let me just zoom out a little bit. You just copy this whole thing, come on, why are you not getting copy? Duplicate, and we create just another loop here, which is we connect this to this. Right, so it's going to do the same things, but we don't have to download a PDF resume anymore. So we delete this node, and we have extract resume data here. So let me just play this. Okay, play it again. Extract resume data. So the doc file that we received was John Mehta doc CV. What did we convert to? Yeah, it's the same person. So we are moving in the right direction. So I think all we have to do now is just play this whole thing. Come on. Okay, I keep forgetting that I have to pin the data. Don't forget that. It keeps going back to this again and again. So this time, John Mehta. Everyone has a relevance score of 7. Good luck. Right. We do it again. We just do it manually once. Alright. Did we get John? Yes, we have John, but for some reason there is, because it's plus 9-1. What we can do here is that we, in the instructions, both sides, when it's phone number, remove any plus signs. Yeah, something like that, as simple as that. Operators, or yeah, I think this should do. Okay, this is interesting. So you have this small trick. Let me try this thing. Tidy up. It looks very messy, so so as soon as you press on tidy up, now it looks beautiful. So what's happening here is that we have a switch node, doc PDF, and both times it will just go do its job, and it's a doc, then it's going to download the PDF resume first. I mean, you don't have to, yeah, it can be inside the loop as well. Actually, my bad, actually I made it complicated. So what you can do here is remove these two items here, you loop it directly, and remove this as well, and loop, tidy up. Yeah, I think it's it's the same thing that we just did. The only difference here is that here we did not do any Google file conversion, but in this case we did a small file conversion, the PDF. Let me delete this one. Now let's try again. Save. If I just press this, no, this one. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, it's working. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Can you remove the plus sign this time? Let's see. Why? What just happened? Where is it? Oh, because I manually pressed play here, so I just have to press play again this way. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. It keeps consuming my tokens. You will learn from your mistakes. I'm still learning from mine. Alright, John Meta. Yes. Okay, that's good. It removed the plus sign because I gave it that instruction. So this is how you improve upon your prompts as well. And the thing is that this was just one of the examples. What you can do with this one is, I mean, I can think of a lot of things that you can do. I don't like this font. Delete. For example, I'm working with a client who is into automobile, an aggregator. So one thing that he's exploring is because he's trying to create an aggregated platform for all the cars in the country, all the models. So we will download all the brochures there and then go through all those brochures, extract that information, the car specs, say the model, the colors available, and also the dimensions, the engine specs, power and everything, and any other description. And then we'll create our own database of all the cars available in the country. Then we will do something with it. It's a little confidential, but yeah, we will use it. So there are a lot of use cases where you can use this. You can extract, say, college brochures, automobile, real estate, where you can download all the real estate listings, brochures or whatever, and unify them into one. Say invoicing data. A lot of brick and mortar stores, traditional types, they have a lot of physical invoices or the PDF versions, but no unified system, so they can go through their whole inventory and create one single database of everything that they have or they have sold. Invoicing data, you can do something around medical medicines and their descriptions, the prescription and their tabs, nutritional information, hospitality, which is tours, packages, destinations, whatever there is. There are a lot of use cases for what we just did. The example of HR and running through the CVs and creating a unified database for all the profiles is just one of the use cases. But I mean, your imagination is the only thing that can stop you. So if you can imagine something that you can do with this, till the time we have unstructured data and we want to structure it, I mean, this is the flow that we can use. So I mean, yeah, I think it was fun to build this whole thing, and I hope that we come up with more ideas around this one. And the one thing that I wanted to say is that that I also missed earlier, and maybe we'll just do it sometime later, is to convert this whole thing into, let's say, instead of a Google Drive, I replace it with Gmail, that every time you receive an email, it goes to the whole thing, so you don't have to wait and manually upload everything into your Google Drive. It can be automated on mail by mail basis. So every single time you receive an email, if it's a resume or an application, it just filters it, runs through the whole process, and yeah, it saves some trouble. You can avoid some of the steps which were there, so, and make it more live, more real time, sorry. So yeah, I mean, yeah, so if you like this one and you think that we can do something similar for other use cases as well, and if you're stuck somewhere, leave the comments and I will try to explain as much as I can. In the next video, I'll see if I can do the whole Google integration for you, because there are a lot of other use cases that we have to build as well. So I need to decide between what's more relevant right now. But I mean, I'll get the feedback. I keep asking for the feedback, so you drop that feedback in Gmail, in YouTube, in the comments. And yeah, so if you think that instead of focusing on more automation, if we should be looking at those granular details about integrations and how to combine these things instead, yeah, we can do that as well. Just let me know. So I'll see you in our next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.